So one of the bigger animation channels on YouTube just got deleted by its owner. Okay, I mean, that's a bit of an exaggeration, maybe not one of the bigger animation channels on YouTube, but I mean, the Lord Bung channel is, or was, a big animation channel on YouTube, undoubtedly. Had a lot of subscribers, had a lot of, had a big following, and now it's just fucking gone. This dude just left the internet. And this has left a lot of people confused as to why. I mean, for what reason would an animator with 1.14 million subscribers, multiple extremely popular videos, with the first episode of their series, SCP Confinement, having 12 million views, what reason would this person have to leave the internet altogether? The guy was making thousands of dollars a month on Patreon, was a successful artist for a living, which is, a position that many can only dream of. I'm sure a lot of people are envious of that position, So what the fuck happened? Why is their channel gone? It doesn't seem to really add up. Well, as it turns out, it may have something to do with the drama regarding Kwite. A few months ago, a Twitter user accused commentary YouTuber Kwite of rape. This accusation blew up on Twitter and resulted in hundreds of thousands of people calling Kwite a rapist, horrible human being, etc. I think the original post that his accuser made got around 60 to 100,000 likes, so it was super popular, and basically everyone just believed it on face value. Now, the really interesting thing about this is that there was basically no evidence whatsoever. In other cases against YouTubers, people will include screenshots of messages or stuff like that to at least have something to show for how their interactions went. But his accuser, Orion, had no such evidence. It was just a twitlonger claiming these things had happened. Well, people took it and ran with it. And then Kwite dropped a response, and the entire internet suddenly became educated and flipped around and defended Kwite. Meanwhile, the accusers themselves basically got harassed off the internet. And considering that they did lie about someone sexually assaulting them, at least to me, it seems like they lied. Maybe that is what should have happened, whether they meant to lie about it or were so crazy and delusional that they actually believed, their own lies. They probably deserve to get shit on for that, right? So after all that, Kwite got his career back because it was kind of in limbo during the allegations. He lost a lot of support. He got his career back. He got a bunch more subscribers on his channel, and now he's posting videos on his various outlets again, and all is well in the world, right? The day is saved. Everything is cool again. What does this have to do with Lord Bung? Well, as it turns out, at the time, Orion, Kwite's accuser, or I guess false accuser, was in a relationship of some kind with Lord Bung. I believe people were saying it was a polyamorous relationship or something. I don't really know what's up with that. These Twitter people really have some weird shit going on, bro. What happened to two people just dating, okay? Now everyone has their own Reddit polycule. Why is the internet like this? And to be clear, I can't seem to find any definitive information about this relationship or anything like that. It's just people talking about it, so take it with a grain of salt. I don't really know to what involvement Lord Bung actually had with Orion. Well, anyway, seeing as Bung was very close with Orion and they had worked on material together for his channel, he fully supported the allegations when they came out and made posts reflecting that. Hey everyone, this is in regards to the recent Kwite controversy. I just want to say that I've known Orion for several years and I know he's telling the truth. It would be a stupid amount of effort to actively lie about the details of these events and his raw, visceral emotions for years. I've had to witness and help one of my best friends get through breakdown after breakdown over specific and consistent triggers for several years, and it absolutely breaks my heart when I see some people think he's lying. He just wanted his story out. He wanted you all to know the kind of person Kwite is and just be cautious. I mediated a call between Orion and Kwite long ago regarding their relationship, and Kwite was incredibly harsh and aggressive. He would tell inconsistent stories and get very intense when questioned. It's not so much that a bad temper was the issue, it's that nothing was ever resolved. He would just yell the loudest and win. When Kwite and I shared a B&B in Melbourne and Anaheim for PAX Australia and VidCon, I recall him being very transactional socially and aggressive and very physical when drunk. I got no sense that he wanted to be my friend or even wanted to enjoy hanging out with people until he wants to be in some big YouTuber's video. Out of Kwite and Orion, I trust Orion a lot more. And this does sound like kind of shitty behavior, but I mean, first of all, there's no evidence for it, and secondly, I don't really know what that sort of second paragraph has anything to do with the allegations. It's kind of a weird thing to include that personal experience and muddy the water there regarding this because, it really doesn't have anything to do with Kwite. Kwite can be the most socially transactional person in the world. When he's drunk, he can be as annoying as he wants. That doesn't mean he's a you know what I mean? So I'm not really sure why that was included. The finishing line of the entire statement is, out of Kwite and Orion, I trust Orion a lot more. So I guess that paragraph was meant to sort of take away some credibility from Kwite, but it's really hard to say what the deal is there. Now, this post was not on Twitter, actually. It was actually on the community tab of the Lord Bung channel. So it was sent out to a much wider reach of people, and Bung really wanted a lot of people to see this. What some people may not realize is that before Confinement, Lord Bung was like a commentary animation deletion channel. He would get a bunch of YouTubers to be voice actors in his videos, like I'm Alex, and whoever else from the commentary scene was really popping at the time. And then he made Confinement, which was the series that really made the channel explode. Well, Bung supported Orion a lot when the allegations came out, signal boosting all of his stuff and reposting it everywhere, and making sure everyone knew about the allegations that were being made, making sure everyone had the information, because he seemed to really genuinely believe the story, you know? You can criticize his execution all you want, but as far as I can tell, it didn't seem like he really had bad intentions behind it all. He thought that Kwite was genuinely guilty of what Orion was accusing him of, and as a result, he thought that Kwite posed a danger to other people, potentially those in his audience, and so he wanted to spread that information there. That didn't turn out so well once Kwite released his side, which basically detailed with evidence how Orion was a manipulative, crazy person and a pathological liar. Once this came out and the mob went from attacking Kwite and calling him a 6,000 to attacking the other side and calling Orion a false accuser 12,000, they started going through the list of people who had been involved to get their statement, you know, those who signal boosted the allegations, Twitter accounts who supported them and stuff like that. And well, Bung was one of them, considering his long community post, and so many people asked him to respond. At first he was kind of silent, but then he responded on Instagram to a comment by saying, "I'm not apologizing for supporting a friend who had their life ruined by SA. It's wild to me that people expected me to do nothing when my best friend came out about their story." And you know, people really tore him apart for this, said he was an asshole. You even had people saying they would be unsubscribing from Lord Bung for supporting a racist liar. As far as I'm aware, only half of that is true about Orion, but you know, if it's Orion 1488 out here, you guys will have to let me know, because I'm just not familiar with that. But checking this person's account, well, they claim to be 21 years old. They post and type like someone half that age, so I can't begrudge them too much, I guess. They may have something limiting going on mentally. Bung ended up making a follow-up community post saying, "I'm sorry for all the anger and frustration I've aided in causing. I'm still processing the information in Kwite's video. I thought I was just helping my friend. Orion and I have been close for years, so this is a lot for me to digest. Once again, thank you to those who were patient with me." So from this, it seems like Bung was reconsidering everything and having a hard time dealing with the facts that Orion lied, which shows some character development. It shows him dealing with the fact that Orion lied. It shows him dealing with the fact that, you know, maybe he got it wrong. Maybe he's the one who effed up. Maybe he needs to change his position, reconsider things, which is good. I mean, that seems like a good turn in the story, right? This was also reposted to Instagram by Lord Bung, which shows that he wanted to, you know, kind of spread it as much as possible. He puts it on his community tab. He puts it on his Instagram to let people know, hey guys, I'm sorry about this. You know, I'm having a hard time processing this information. Now, keep in mind, this was back in March, so this was months ago, but there hasn't been a new episode of his show, Confinement, in quite some time. I think it's been 3 or 4 years. So it's not like he's really busy getting out content or anything. And as a result, people are pretty frustrated that he was given a bunch of money to get this series done and then seemingly has been sitting on his ass, eating Cheetos, playing games, smoking up that stinky green, etc. I mean, maybe there was more going on as far as the work he's getting done. I don't really know, but that seems to be the impression on his subreddit. And as we all know, Reddit is the best source for accurate information on any subject. If you want to know anything, honestly, just go to Reddit. Reddit will be able to tell you. Easily the 1000% fact-checked by American true patriot source for all information on any subject. So trust Reddit. Reddit seal of approval. We are Reddit Nation on the Tom Dark channel. Bung made this post on his community tab more recently saying, "I stopped my Patreon a few weeks back. If you want to download my videos, do it now, because I'm going to delete this channel in a day or two." Now, a lot of people speculated on why the channel is being deleted in the replies everywhere this was posted, with many pointing to the Kwite situation being the main reason why. But I have yet to see any clear explanation from Lord Bung regarding any of this. I've yet to see like a twit longer or some kind of video explaining things. That doesn't seem to be out there. The last Instagram post from him was on March 14th, months ago, so he's not active there. He's not posting any kind of explanation. His Twitter has been deleted as far as I can tell, so no statement there, and now the channel's gone. So people really just have to pick up the pieces now and speculate on why this happened. As I said, millions of people saw his series. A lot of people were looking forward to it, so it's pretty crazy that it all went down this way. I actually ended up tweeting out asking what was up just to see if anyone had any information, because I figured there were probably some Confinement viewers in my audience who knew about this and had been following the drama more closely. This person said they think they did delete their channel because of the Kwite stuff, and I left this response, which kind of sums up my thoughts on everything regarding Kwite and Bung's position and his actions. I said, I mean, he was wrong, but at the end of the day, his biggest crime was believing his friend/partner. I don't know, I feel like he's not an evil dude, but just got caught up with a manipulative person who suckered him into a narrative that ended up being fake. It's not like once the proper evidence for Orion lying was out there, he decided to keep going after Kwite, but it seems to me like he could just not handle the criticism and backlash long term. And you know, this really is how I feel at the end of the day, because can Bung be criticized for believing the story about Kwite with no evidence? Sure. Can he be criticized a little bit for not coming out with a statement soon enough? Sure. But I think there is some important information to understand here. Imagine if your best friend of years told you something horrible happened to them, but they had no proof. You would still believe them, right? Anyone naturally would. Anyone sympathetic, anyone empathetic, anyone who's a true empath like me, okay? But anyone who's just a normal human being, you want to believe your friend, right? You have a deep connection with this person, so of course you want to think that they're telling the truth when they say that something horrible happens. And when it turns out that they may have lied, it's kind of a really hard thing to deal with, because to the viewers, they want you to make a statement and just be like, I'm sorry, and give in to the mob, right? But they don't have any personal connection. Their only connection is through watching the content, right? They don't know any of the people directly involved. But put yourself in Bung's shoes. He just found out that his friend of years has been lying about this SA story, which they've been telling him for years, by the way. This story has probably been a consistent thing they've talked about. Bung has probably told it to other people who were under the assumption it was true. So now he's just kind of fucked. Like, how do you even begin to respond to something like that? Yeah, it is hard, but at the same time, realistically, Bung needs to find the strength within himself to respond properly. And it seems like, you know, at least as far as a detailed response, that's not really what he wants to do. He left that little note basically saying he's sorry for his involvement and it's hard to come to terms with, but that's really all he seems to want to say. So I'd imagine mentally it has impacted him quite a bit. And now his channel's fucking gone. Now, for a bit of an explanation, I did find this post from what I think must be Bung's server or something. And this person claims that Bung or Danny will be deleting their channel for mental health reasons. This person replied to my question on Twitter saying, it's the Kwite stuff and living off 4 years worth of Patreon income for an animation he didn't deliver on. Didn't deliver is nice. More like making a 4-minute softcore porn and not wanting to deal with the repercussions. Now, what this tweet refers to, and it may be a bit confusing at first, but what this refers to is a leak of the latest episode of Confinement. Confinement episode 8 had a small piece of it leaked, and what was leaked was a straight up like Lil Nas X in the shower, homoerotica, dudes with soapy dicks and whatever else type thing. That's not a joke. Obviously, I can't show it on screen, but yeah, I mean, that's what it is. You can find it if you look on Twitter if you really want to see it. So as you can imagine, with people waiting years for this episode and getting this as a final product, there was a bit of a frustration from the fan base.
That's it? That's the last episode?
And the subreddit, which I mentioned earlier, is in absolute seethe mode right now, because, you know, the thing they spent thousands of dollars a month supporting is basically just not existing anymore. And its creator basically has like off for 4 years and now has like deleted the channel, which was the main archive of all of it, which really sucks. Yeah, I can't totally blame them at all. I can't even blame them a little bit. I hope all the weed you bought with the Patreon money was worth it. I hope scrapping episode 8 and replacing it with the softcore garbage was worth it. I hope scamming all the patrons who gave you thousands of dollars in hopes it would help you with a new episode was worth it. I hope it was all worth it in the end, because you are, in my opinion, the biggest disappointment to the SCP community. You are the biggest disappointment to the SCP community. The disgrace that Lord Bung must feel right now. Guys, the SCP community is looking on you with fucking shame. You rat, you straight up ignorant, stupid fucking rodent.
What a fucking liar, dude. What a fucking Weasley little liar, dude. What a fucking Weasley little...
How could you ever think that you would get away with doing something like this in the SCP community, okay? Not cool. Better take your sensitive ass back to creepy pasta, okay? We don't fuck around in the SCP community. You helped push allegations. You couldn't say sorry to the one you affected the most. You just apologized to all of us to make an attempt to save face. Now you're not just gonna own up and take accountability. You instead would rather delete everything and disappear so you don't have to deal with what you did. Hope you don't come back. Sorry to all the patrons who gave them money, and I hope she actually manages to refund everyone. This next post is titled, "It's been a fun but disappointing ride." And this is, you know, very much the same kind of feeling and sentiment being expressed here. I'm honestly pretty sad to see what Confinement turned into and how this whole situation played out. I'm sad to see how we put trust in a person who did not deliver. I'm sad to see how money was seemingly mismanaged. I'm sad to see how Lord Bung has failed to do the right thing over and over again, even when given several chances to do so. And I'm sad to see after 4 years of work, we received 3-ish minutes of softcore porn with some extremely messed up implications. It's hard to say goodbye to a project like Confinement, since it was probably one of the most well-known and high-quality fan projects the SCP Foundation has had in a while. I'm sad to see it go. And I'm sad to see how this project more or less buckled because of this other drama. But I did enjoy it while it lasted. I did enjoy watching the episodes when they came out, and I enjoyed Connor's story, at least what we got to see of it. Several SCP readers were guests on the series. If it wasn't a love letter to the fans, at least at the time, I don't know what it is. Hopefully, somebody else can pick up where things things left off because of the Creative Commons license, or that at some point somebody else makes another SCP animated series. But it sucks to know that this is the reality of things now. As shitty as Lord Bung turned out to be, Confinement was a nice little series. We got cheated out of a good thing, all because of a series of choices a person made unrelated to this. It's been a pleasure, everyone. It really sucks that things had to end this way, but it's for the best, I guess. There isn't really any coming back after that drama or the leak, if I'm being honest. This concludes the career of Lord Bung and the SCP Containment series. What I find interesting about this is that it's not like Lord Bung had to quit because of the drama. At the end of the day, that stuff does negatively impact his reputation, undoubtedly. It definitely casts sort of a bad light on him, but at the end of the day, if he had made a proper response, which honestly wouldn't even need to be that long, it could have been a few minutes, and then just continued making the series, he would have been fine. He could also just not respond and continue making the series, and that would have been fine. But to me, it seems more like the real reason for leaving is not the Kwite drama. Maybe that was sort of a breaking point, you know, straw on the camel's back type thing. Maybe that was the final impetus for it, but the real reason seems to just be like general mental health issues, considering the fact that these videos haven't been really releasing in, I mean, years, right? It's been 3-4 years since the last confinement, and you know, 3.5 of those years were before the Kwite situation even happened. So it's really not what it's all cracked up to be. End of the day, this is Bung's fault for deleting the channel. If Bung really wanted to continue, then he would, but he clearly doesn't. So yeah, it's his choice, I guess. It would be facetious for me to say that I really loved this series or anything like that, because I didn't, but I've seen a few episodes and I thought it was pretty cool. He's clearly a talented dude, and independent animation succeeding on the internet in general is something I think we should all support and cheer on. So it's kind of sad to see, you know, the whole career just get flushed down the toilet because of this drama and whatever else. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, leave a comment down below with your thoughts. Subscribe to the Tom Dark channel, subscribe to the Turkey Tom channel. Be sure to follow my Instagram, Tom But Dark, for pictures with lots of Ohio Riz. Sorry, goodbye. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'll see you guys later.